Hola, hola, hola. Are we good? Are we up and running? Are we doing what's good in the hood? Let me go and check what's up here. Okay, why did it log me out? Man, this streaming on both things be weird sometimes, man. That's for sure. Welcome everybody. I need to fix my green screen, looks like, undoubtedly. What the? I don't know why it'll be. That's crazy. All right, cool. So we got a lot of tracks in here today. I'm going to be adding a couple more last minute tracks in here. And we're going to get started. You can always go to my Discord to submit your track in the hashtag live WIP feedback section, which is right here. I'll go ahead and put my Discord into everything so that you guys can get that as well. What's up, Stacks Dubs? What it do? Oh, Pedic, what's good? Earthwalker, we are locked in. What's good, bro? Merlin, what's up? John Beam, sup, fool? Here's the Discord link in here. If you guys need, we're going to start listening to some jams. We have about 23 submissions, it looks like. Let me go ahead and get these last couple submissions real quick. We're going to get it done. Okay, 1 second. 1, 2, and 3. All right, buds. Let's go ahead and get started. First, we have Snasta and Jonah. They're coming in with ID. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's get started.
Make it bright, we can't fly tonight. The sky knows why, we can't inside. I'm growing scared, the flash inside. My mind knows how to deal with life. My mind knows how to deal with life. My mind knows how to deal with life.
Good job. That was pretty heavy. That was nice. I believe you submitted this last time and you improved for sure. The bass feels good, nice and up front. The vocals up here, let me double check these. So it's almost like there's like a wobbly, like vibrato-y effect going on here. And it's almost too much wiggly movement. It kind of feels a little unnatural. So I'd maybe like dial that back down a little bit. I like the effect though. I mean, that's nice. The drop's really nice. I mean, we have a lot of different variations, different heaviness. The stereo image is nice and full. And everything's glued. There's good cohesion from the intro into the drop, so that's really nice. Parts like this, like these fake outs with extra effects. We're hitting resonant peaks pretty high, so it gets louder. Like there's a -2 difference in lefts here, so it's pretty noticeable, and it's good to be aware of that. You might want to leave it just in case, but think about it, like if this is loud and then this next part is -2 lefts quieter, it'll feel like this has lower energy when really it's super high energy. But because of what happened previously, that's just like the mind games going on. Audio mind games. Who put those audio mind games on us? So just be aware of things like that. Check all these little sections. But overall, I mean, the dynamics is sick. Like once we're going completely silent in these sections, taking breaks from all the craziness, and those are really impactful because of that. So yeah, this is pretty good, man. I'm liking what I'm hearing here. Very unique. It has like some pop in it, some like pop vibes, and like almost like alternative vibes. It just reminds you of just like chilling, listening to like Linkin Park, but then we like went and go and fucking hit it with some EDM drop hard rhythm. It's the best of both worlds, man. Good job. Sick. All right. Up next, we got Forged in Tartaros. Maybe I said that wrong. Maybe I said that right. Kilowatts coming in. Let's go. Good job, Snaster. Good job, Jonah Wadaidi. Let's get up with Kilowatts and see what he got to bring. Let me check the chat right now. We're gonna double check what you guys are saying. Lazy, what's good? Hatsuki, Ola, what's good, man? Stack Stubs, I got an ad, dude. Jimenez, what's up, man? Who up killing their watts? Yeah, if you guys have the YouTube Premium ad free, you can always watch on YouTube, try to skip those ads. J.O., what's good? All right, guys, let's get into Kilowatts. Run it. All right.
return to the void.
Okay, I didn't expect all that at the end of that, man. All right. Cool. Good job, Kilowatts. Very nice. That's Forged in Tartaros. Yeah. Basically, this one was harder to listen to because it's so loud. And because it's so loud, I have to turn down my audio interface a lot so that it's not hurting my eardrums, basically. I mean, there's a point where you get too loud and it starts to damage your eardrums, and mine are pretty fucked at this point because of, DJing and just blasting ears and not knowing about how the frequencies affect our delicate and sensitive hairs inside those little tiny ears that we got. Those little tiny hairs in those ears that we got. But my audio interface has enough power to have like a lot of dynamic range, and I can tell when something is loud, if it's a good loudness, or if something's loud and it's like too loud and there's a lot of harsh frequencies. One thing, first off, this is hitting negative 1.7 LUFS, which is really, really loud. And it's honestly, to me, I'm going to start labeling it as the danger zone, because I mean, there's been loudness wars going on for a long time in music, right? Ever since vinyl, people understood that if you make a song that's louder than the other person's song, it has more energy. People are going to listen to it. It was like a hack for a long time. And this hack is starting to come back with tear out specifically, or just heavy, super heavy rhythm, these new hybrid genres where we're pushing the limits of how loud things can get because it brings more energy and people are going crazier in the mosh pits and shit. Right? But we have to be very careful, because if we get too loud, we're just damaging our ears. And there's ways for us to get really loud and be clean at the same time, which is something we have to take notice of. So just keep in mind, the loudest you should ever be is negative 3 LUFS, which is too loud. That is ear damaging loud when you're at negative 3. And then really loud is negative 4, right? Negative 5. And then loud is negative 6, right? And then house music's around negative 8, negative 6, negative 7, around there, which is pretty loud. And then everything starts to get quieter from there. So we want to be careful hitting negative 1.7. We don't want to hit negative 1.7 at any point of our song. And it's hitting in most sections of your drop. So I had to turn it down. It's low energy because it's turned down. If I turn it up, it's hard to listen to, very harsh. Make sure you're sending your signals to groups or buses to separate them and clean them up. Learn about the Fletcher-Munson curve. Learn about how our ears perceive frequencies at different volume levels so that you can mix and use your EQ in different ways that allows our ears to, take in all these frequencies at a higher amplitude. Things get crazy. Things get real crazy. You have really good flow in here. Lots of good variations and changes and movements between all the different basses. But like I said, it's hard to listen to that when it's too loud. So bring it back down to negative 3. Start remixing everything and making sure that your mids and highs, every single track has an EQ. And then your lows, they feel almost non-existent. They feel like they've been saturated or distorted too much, where we're losing that main sine wave, that main low frequency that we feel in our chest. And we're only starting to hear it. It's becoming mids, and we're losing that deep sine. So keep in mind of that sine wave, make sure it's big fat pumping, and then you're adding clean harmonics on top of it. And then the mids and highs can do their own thing. We really want to separate your frequency so that everything is nice, dandy, and under control. They call it the Dandy Express Under Control 2000 3.0 when you have your EQs and your limiters and your clippers on lock. Remember, clippers at the end of every chain, G clip or JST, EQs on every chain, and then the 1000 hertz. A lot of harsh frequencies are built up there. Start cutting down, turning down there. You don't have to cut, but turn down, make dips, and then look up the Fletcher-Munson curve. I can show you what it looks like real quick so you see you can even experience this right now, live in the act. So as I turn up this scale, the frequencies go down. I forgot where I got this. I Googled it. If you Google it and you can't find it, guys, just hit me up and I'll somehow get this to you. But you turn the scale up and it turns down the harsh frequencies. You see here. These are basically really helpful, and you can use these subtly to help. So go ahead and listen. So obviously, since we're turning it down this much, we're losing a lot of energy. So that's why we have to remix it when we go back down to -3 and sound design and remix every single thing so that we're not at this super loud level, and then put more focus on the sub. It's like mids and highs and like 20% sub right now. We got to rebalance. We need that sub to be like more than 50%. You know, this is bass music. Bro, you got to blow them with that bass. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man. Yeah, so just double check. Get your left meters on the end. You know what it is. You know what it is. Hit me up if you need help with anything. Up next, we got a WIP. Bye. Wait, hold up. Oh, I see. Okay. I think we got rearranged. Wait, where is it actually? Ravage demo track. Do I got the Ravage demo track in here? Dude, why is it all the way down there? Okay. All right, we might be rearranged this stream because, you know, things get rearranged on the rearranging. We're going to go ahead and play this Ravage demo track by Cryptos. Ready. Break it down. I'm going to check the chat real quick. What's up, girl? All right, interesting. Wow, that was quite a journey, I must say. Okay, so This is good. Honestly, when I get hit, okay, the main thing about this EDM stuff is how the drop hits, right? That is literally the heart and soul of all of this, is how insane energy and crazy climax moment is that freaking drop. And I gotta say, this was pretty intense. It may get too quiet here. I know you're going for getting it quiet. The dynamic shift from going loud to quiet is definitely needed. But I feel like it almost gets too quiet here. So maybe turn it up a little bit in this section. But the way it flows from here is really nice. Yeah, you're almost filtering like too much. It's almost non-existent right here. That's just pretty gangster right there. Like throwing, you throw us into that fucking drop so hard and it just feels so nice. So this is the type of shit I really love to see and is really impressive and will get people freaking out, you know. Unfortunately though, once we get in here, like the flow and stuff is good, but it's like a congested, it's like almost 3 or 4 basses, like competing for space, a congested traffic highway. And they're all like, yo, I want to be the main star of the show. And the other guy's like, no, you ain't not the star of the show. I want to be the star of the show. Basically, we need there to be the one spotlight, just one bass that's the highlight, maybe another bass that's supporting, and we're using EQ to like carve and remove and kill frequencies from the other basses to allow the other basses to shine, because right now they're all trying to shine at the same time. And even though they're all really good basses, we have to mix them all together, you know. And mud is a thing. Frequency buildup from 100 hertz to like 400 hertz. Even Ableton singles it out. Do you see how Ableton does this cool thing where it's like, you have this huge block of open space right here, and even right here. These are usually the problem frequencies right here. And Ableton is just awesome and just, you know, it's already letting us know. If frequencies start to build up right here, by the way, I don't know what the back is for, but I need to figure that out. These frequencies, so at 100, you start cutting at 100, the sub's good. But as soon as frequencies build up from 100 to like 300, all this little area, it becomes muddy. So just start reducing, turning it down, or maybe cutting like this on different basses, or even just cutting completely. But obviously there should be one or maybe even 2 basses that live in this range that hold it down. But if we start adding more basses or adding other sounds like brass, you know, there's a brass, a big horn instrument, we have to make sure that those are cut too, that everything has its own place. Because right now, I mean, there's just too much going on and it's not going to have as much energy as it should. Also, there are some off-time pianos right here that definitely need to be fixed. Obviously, piano doesn't have to be perfectly on time all the time, but this is almost too off time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the timing. What I was saying, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the pianos are like starting delayed. So check into all these pianos. Make sure that you can turn on the metronome up here. You know, easy 1, 2, 3, 4s. And get that piano perfectly on that shit, because that will help a lot. Otherwise though, this is pretty nice. I like this. Good sound design, good flow. Just got to work on that mixing. You know, mixing is one of the hardest things. We got all these cool sounds. How do we put them together? We're chefs now. Gotta be that chef, man. Good job, Cryptos, with the Ravage demo track. Up next, we got Billy. No, Bill, sorry. Bill the Producer 98. WIP. Let's go ahead and line them up. Let's go. Check out, boy.
exclusive.
Hold up. Thank you for the follow, my boy. Feeling it. That's pretty gangster with it, my boy. Oh, thank you for the follow again. Who that be? That be Grant 20. Thanks, brother. All right, so this is nice to see. Dude, these little switch ups right here is like pretty gangster shit, dude. It's like you actually, it's like you're DJing up there, right? And you're like producing while you're DJing. It's like, it's so cool. It's what everyone thinks the DJ's doing up there, you know, making the song live. And it sounds like you're doing it right here, you know, it's just so cool. So that's a nice fun time. The main bass seems a little weak up here. It's like really loud, but the main bass is not part of the loudness. It's like, let's listen. Like the sub seems way louder than the bass. So we got to rebalance what's going on here. I mean, you can leave the sub as loud as this. I mean, actually, let's check. So like if we EQ 8 and just play your sub, for example, and then add the left meter after it. That looks nice. That's beautiful. As long as we're not past, if we go past -8, it starts to become like an issue, you know. All the other frequencies, mids and highs, those can continue to stack, right? Keep layering that shit. We just double check, make sure that's good. So sub's good. You can leave sub as loud as it is right now, but then you just start parallel processing or layering that main bass. And then once the bass starts playing over here, it starts to get repetitive, you know, very predictable. The energy starts to significantly decrease in time starting here. But then as soon as this silent section happens and this dynamic shift happens, you start switching it up enough. And then all of the cool stuff that I mentioned. So yeah, you got some sick flow, nice heaviness.
This is exclusive.
We got cool samples. Yeah, it's nice. A lot of these like effects and sweeps though sound really loud compared to the main stuff. So maybe turn those down. Otherwise, though, nicely done, Build the Producer 98. You are getting it done, getting it done. Let's go. Okay, very good. Up next, we got Scaniel with Hyperion. Shit, if I don't even know what I'm saying right now, man. Let's go. Up next, let's load him up. He's perfectly in there, and boom, and... What it do, guy? What it do? You know, we're getting it done. We're getting it done. We out here. Let's go. Okay, that was nice. We got some nice vibes at the beginning. I like these choirs a lot. Sounds so good. Now, it's important to keep in mind that once we get towards like these sections, it's starting to sound staticky. I mean, like there's such thing as vinyl crackle, right? Which is like this amazing sound that comes from vinyl, old school vinyl. And that's dope sometimes, but otherwise it could be staticky and bad. So we never really want that to be playing during the song. So hopefully you're not doing that. But sometimes when lows compete, like lots of lows build up when there's like auto filters and resonance, then you start to get like this staticky white noise sound. And it sounds like this. So double check your lows and see how everything's playing. We have to make sure that we don't stack frequencies under 100 hertz. Those are the subs. And then all the frequencies 100 hertz and above, those are the mids and highs. Oh, or I mean, this low mids, you know, is 100 to 300, all that muddy area. So that's like the main area you're looking into, 100 to 300 hertz. But that's the intro. In the drop, you have good flow. Everything's looking nice. You have good ideas. You have good arrangement. But the frequency spectrum feels empty. And this is like a tear out song with guns. So these guns should be fat, commanding, big, dominant. And right now they feel pretty weak and not as big as they should be. You have good sound design in the high frequencies, right? You have a sub bass, but we're missing a lot in the mids and the lower mids. And the sine wave also can be bigger too. Seems almost too clean, your bass and your sub right now. So usually what you'll be doing is like getting the sub bass and the bass together. Make sure you EQ8 your mid bass, and then you clip them together with like a G clip or a saturator. And you just boom, squish them together, glue them together, add extra harmonics on top of that. Just have a fun time and start to get those guns bigger and lots of layers in your guns, you know, and really focus on controlling the space, like the reverb space, and making sure it's big and controlled at the same time. It's going to be the main things you want to focus on right now. Otherwise, I like how like the melodic content is in the back and it's just moving us through the song. So you got good composition here. We just really need the sound design to just get bigger, thicker. Those guns need to be really the star. They have to be super, just huge. And then once they're big, then you can like mix them in and like turn them down, use EQ to carve them out to fit with the melodic song. But make sure that you're thinking of lows, mids, highs when sound designing, because right now it's just like a lot of highs. We're missing a lot of mids. So you want to keep that in mind. Okay. Very nice. Good job. Oh, and yeah, just clip it. Use G clip. I would clip your stuff together. See what that does for you. You know what it is, what it is. Good job, Scaniel. Hyperion. Scary Larry is up next with August 6th, 2024. Parentheses, ID parentheses. All right, let's get it done.
I suppose you all know how to use one of these things, but in case you don't,
Check.
you just press down this lever with your
I can't join your server, it's bugged. What's the error? Hyperion is Scaniel. Scaniel is the last person. Now it's Scary Larry. Hey, thank you for the follow, Dorian. 315. Let's go. Nice. Very good. All right, we have an all-around fun time. Intro, vibes, EDM vibe. I'm just flowing, vibing out. We got good vocals. We also have a nice drop that has a lot of human voices in it, and that really is just adding a lot of emotion and energy, and it's a good time. So let's go ahead and double check this first drop here. The sub is nice. This is cool. The main choir and the human voices sound a little bit like behind the scenes. I think they can come out a little bit more here. Sprinkle a little bit of highs in those, but honestly, this section is good. It sounds real nice all the way until this phrase. Then it starts to sound like repetitive. Very predictable, very repetitive. There's a lot of energy gets lost in these last two phrases. So I'll start to switch it up. So basically this is your halfway point right here. My bad. All right. So half of your drop is this, right? And then the other halfway point towards the end is where you're going to be switching it up, adding some new flavor, new tones, new rhythms compared to everything that we just listened here. Because this was a long time. Is this 32 bars? Yeah, this is 32 bars. So usually drops are 16 bars. So if we're doing a full 32 bars, we're really playing the main motif a lot. So we have to just keep in mind things will start getting repetitive and predictable over time. If someone can predict what's going to happen next, they're not going to be surprised. So they're not going to have all this extra cool energy when listening to the song. So we got to remember that psychologically, we have to get them in the mind games for the frequencies, you know? Next is the second drop, and the main bass is good. We just need to make this main bass bigger. It needs to be like pumping, especially in this section where it's kind of like the highlight. That one. Sounds very small, very weak. Make sure you're layering that thing a lot, getting it big. Make sure you just layer lows, mids, highs, and layer stereo image next, which is mono and stereo. And usually just checking off those boxes would be enough to get big energy, and just EQ constantly throughout. EQ is everything to us. But that main bass is also playing during these sections. So yeah, it's going to need to come up here too. It'll be so nice once it's up. And the choirs in this section sound loud enough, which is great. All the new variations make this phrase not repetitive. All the new stuff that you added, so that's good. And that's about it, dude. Scary Larry, good job, man. I like that. Vibes and heaviness. That's usually my favorite type of stuff. Heavy vibes melodically. Vibes on the melodic heaviness. All right, good job. That's August 6th, 2024. Oh yeah, you do date your stuff a lot. I would just start like envisioning, like listen to it and then envision like what planet it takes you to, or what room it takes you to, like, and then name it after that. What emotions and what feelings and just what comes to mind when you feel these different frequencies going to you, because that will be the best name. It could be anything. It could be freaking space. It could be magenta. You never know. It could be swing set. Up next, Isonade with the Boom Drippy Bassy song. Okay. Okay, the Drum Bippy Bassy song. Oh, this is the Boom. Actually, run it.
You can hit hard like that.
Chat.
You can just gently, so much more. You got all this.
All right, cool. Nice. Nicely done. Isonade coming in with the boom. Oh, my Sam Van Houston, thank you very much for that follow. Music by Nap. Killing the game. That's so cute. What you laughing at over there? All right, so the boom coming in by Isonade has a couple different things that are nice, a couple different things that need some work. First off,
You can just gently, so much more.
so like the overall energy of this is low because there's not enough movement going on between basses. So I usually teach a call and response method to my students. Within a 4-bar phrase, you have call, response, fill. This would be the easiest way. And we do this because you have more energy once you go back and forth between these basses, and it also keeps things fresh. Once we play the same frequencies and the same tones over and over again, our ear just naturally gets used to it over time. But if we go back and forth between different, frequencies, different things, that's what's really going to make a difference. And those little tiny things make a big difference. The fake out.
Gently, so much more.
Usually you would put like another pre-drop right before it starts. So there's a pre-drop here, right?
You can just gently.
Or a vocal. There's actually not even a pre-drop, it's just a vocal. So you need a pre-drop, you need another pre-drop. Those will add energy, and then a call response structure will add energy. But then on top of that, the balance of the stereo image is something we need to pay attention to. Right now, all the basses, so if you listen to the kick, it's perfectly in the middle. We also need basses in the middle, but all the basses are on the side in stereo. So it's really unbalanced. It feels like we're missing a whole chunk of our 3D sphere of sound. And that's an issue. That'll lower energy. That'll make it feel slightly awkward. And we don't want no awkwardness. We just want pizzazz, freshness, coolness. These type of adjectives.
All this.
This is a good idea, though. And the overall tone is like, bum, bum, bum. It's like a higher frequency. So in different sections, switch it up, add variations, and go lower frequency too. So you're going, bum, 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 and then boom, 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 like lower in pitch. And that'll be good, man. And you'll get some nice variation. You'll start to fill out the stereo image. And then you'll add more energy with like those little pre-drop things and the fill. Call response fill. Let me know if you need help with that. I made videos on that too. Know what it is? Good job though. The boom. Nice and neat. It was called the Boom Drippy Bassy song. Next we have C's with Duck Sauce. Labeled as unfinished clip. Side duck. It's a little bit happy. Or actually he looks a little bit sad. Or embarrassed. I don't even know. Let's go. Wait, hold up. Where's it? Where's Duck Sauce in here? Let me double check if the song name is different. Track is being processed. Oh, I think this is a broken link, my boy. I don't think mine, it downloaded actually. A broken link, my boy. Yeah. All right, yeah. You can re-upload that if you like. We'll get you in here, you know what I'm saying? Up next, we got JK5327. Random Square 4 WIP. Nice artist name. That's what I'm talking about. That's the type of name I need. That's like R2D2 vibes. Let's get it done with Random Square VIP. Ooh. Random Square. Check it, chat. Duck Sauce is gonna be fire. I can feel that also. Random Square VIP. He's random square 4. And I've been saying VIP this whole time. It's WIP. That's a W. That ain't a double V. Alright, that's JK5327. I gotta say, this first drop felt a little bit off time with the amount of delay coming from the LFO of that bass. Because of this, it's hard to dance to because it's almost like two different rhythms playing at the same time. Like we're listening to your hat, the tss, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, but then the bass is like happening almost too late after that hat. So because of it, like dancing and catching a rhythm to it is difficult. Plus on top of that, we need more call and response. So right now the bass is randomly moving just in different directions and there's no structure whatsoever. So it seems like it's just doing its own thing, randomly just moving. And I mean, technically that's not wrong, but if you want people to dance to this and you want there to be high energy and movement, you can't really have the bass just randomly moving like this, and you have to structure these things into phrases. So each phrase will be about 4 bars, maybe 8 bars, different type of call and response structures. Like I mentioned previously, call, response, fill will be within the 4-bar phrase. And then if you just keep moving back and forth between your main basses, there's going to be a lot of movement, and then you can highlight these awesome basses that you made. You sound designed some nice basses, especially over in the second drop too. But sometimes the bass is so drowned out in its space and its reverb that we can't get the full intensity. So make sure that your reverb and your delay is in parallel. We got to keep the dry signal and blend in that super luscious wet signal on top of it. And then both playing at the same time will make it loud, and we have the sick effects at the same time. Nice sound design, a little bit too much space. We need variations, too much random movements. That's the main thing. And then overall, it's -7 LUFS. So it's pretty quiet too, compared to rhythm tracks. You want to get a little bit louder, maybe like -5 be a good spot for you to chill in. But that's pretty much it. Nice, decent intro. Oh yeah, you need a pre-drop, definitely. The pre-drop will add a lot of energy. Make sure you have it. Add some vocals in the intro, make a theme. You know, theme it out. That's going to help a lot as well. Cool. Nice job, Rick Astley. Next we got Burn. Coming in with Photon. Who knows what it is until you get to Burn. That feels good. Okay, that is Burn with Photon. Dang, man. Unfortunately, this is way too loud. Way too loud. Oh my gosh. -2 lefts. Like I was saying earlier, is ear damaging loud. And when we're in these melodic states, these melodic zones, we're never really getting this loud. Tear out dubstep, for example, is like super loud dubstep at -3 lefts. And then other dubstep can go as quiet as like -10 lefts or -8 lefts, depending on the type, you know? But this melodic, like future bassy type of hybrid trap is around -8, -7, -6. If we get it to -2, it gets real dangerous. We can't really vibe to it anymore, you know? It's just like damaging the ears. It starts to hurt and very harsh. Also, in a melodic song too, we shouldn't see any bricking like this. Once we zoom out and the waveform starts to brick and almost look like a brick, that's a problem. In tear out dubstep, in these super loud clipping genres, sometimes this is acceptable, you know, depending on how the mix sounds. But in these genres where it's like future bass, where dynamics is king, dynamics is being able to hear something really loud and then something get quiet. The dynamic range is what we're talking about. The range and difference between the loudness and the quiet. And right now it's just all loud. There's really no range. The only range that happens is in this little peak here. But technically it should be happening constantly throughout this drop. So keep that in mind. That lead is way too loud. It even starts coming in too loud here. The intro was nice, man. I was vibing. I was having a good time. It started to sound a little bit empty when the drums came in. The drums are not enough. You'll have to add more than just the drums, like adding a synth bass, a synth lead. And then once we get towards the build-up, it sounds really nice and luscious, but it's starting to sound empty, and it needs like a commanding vocal, something nice to match. You can find like ghost tag vocals that I use all the time and add like phrases or ad-libs or full-on sentences and just slap it in there, tune it to key, and make it sound nice. The human voice and just language specifically is so impactful, and it connects to our soul so much, and it's the last missing piece to this song. And then after that, you get the vocals in here, you can really theme it out and really make this a piece of art. So this is good. Great foundation right here. Keep working on it. Just work on the mix. You don't want to get that thing too loud, man. You gotta use your left meters, okay? Swiss Army meter is this one. The free one is called U-Lean loudness meter. Good job, man. Those melodic vibes are what I like to see. That's Burn with Photon. Nice. Up next, we got Eek Beats with Super. Check out Granny, Miss Lady Granny. I seen this meme, man. I've seen this. I've seen that. All right, let's go. Wait, Super? Wait, hold on. Wait, Super all the way down here? What the heck is Super all the way down there? Where's the Super? Photon resubmission. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Look at that. Wait, hold on. We got the resubmission of the Photon with the dynamic range fixed right here. Hold on. We got to listen to this real quick. There's vocals in it. Jesus Christ. Ay, ay, ay. You guys probably said this in the chat. I knew I should have checked the chat. I had this big feeling to be checking the chat. Eccentric, what's good, dude? Is this WIPs only? Yeah, WIPs basically. You can send in songs, you know, definitely too. But like release Spotify songs, that's probably not the best. Something I can give you feedback on. Isaiah melody was pretty good. Yeah, nice. Alright, let's see all these new changes, guys. We got vocals now. The vocals don't sound perfectly like in key or pitch though. It seems slightly off. Feels a little dissonant. Double check.
easy. Get your hands up, easy.
All right, decent. We fixed a lot of the main, huge problem areas in the last submission, so this is good. The vocal, though, like I said, doesn't sound perfectly in key. It just sounds kind of weird, honestly. And she doesn't need to be singing this much either. It sounded pretty good like this. You could just like sprinkle in vocals rather than have her sing a whole sing that much. It's up to you, though. I mean, that really is a creative decision, but oh, thank you for the follow. Who just followed? That's Rad Smack. Thank you, son. The sub, dang, dude, the sub is like full blast here. It starts to fade out here. We're losing energy when the sub fades out. That's a big problem. This dynamic shift, though, is really cool, this flow. But then having the sub fade back in and go full blast just is very, very unnatural. We need energy to be full blast. This is the climax moment when we're in the drop. We can't have people, die down in energy this quickly into the drop. Remember, we only listened for like 4 bars here, and then we're lowering the energy. So maybe save this stuff for way later on. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't do it like just turning down the sub like this. I would use auto filters and like filter out frequencies rather than like adjusting the volume of the sub. The sub also is too loud on the drop, so you'll turn it down a little and then make sure it goes full blast the whole phrase. That will make a big difference in energy, and it'll be nice, bro. I don't even see that resubmission. Usually I would have gotten the resubmission and just used that instead of the first one, but I didn't see that. Messed up there, so no problem. Up next, we got Eek Beats now with Supa. Let's go ahead and... Oh God, where does Supa go? Okay, there it is. Let's get it done.
I love my nan. But do you know what I love more than my nan?
What?
Bit of drum and bass.
Naturally.
Little bit of drum and bass and jungle. That's better than my nan any day.
Hey, Eccentric, we have already a lot of submissions. Submissions closed, so unfortunately yours will
because
be
my
on
nan
next
will
week,
die,
which
the
is
drum and
Monday,
bass will
6
live
p.m.
forever.
Pacific.
That's better than my nan any day. Yeah. Because my nan will die, the drum and bass will live forever. But you know what I love more than my nan?
What?
Little bit of drum and bass and jungle.
Well, I would have never known till you told me.
That's better than mine now any day.
Okay. I liked having a conversation with your song. That was fun. Good vocals. That was a nice theme. The beginning here sounds like the drop, though.
Yeah. Because my nan will die, but drum and bass will live forever.
Nevertheless, this section's cool. In this section, we need a bigger bass line because we have nice drums, we have nice groove, good movement, but the bass line should be like almost the star of the show with the vocal, and just needs to be a groovy bass line that's big and thick so that we can really be moving on to this next section, because without it, then it just sounds like, you know, a break. So we need some like more energy going on here. And then once we get here, we start to add more energy by adding this bass. But it's very muddy. It's like a lot of low frequencies are now competing with other low frequencies. Lots of low mid frequencies, like 100 hertz to 400, are competing. And there's not a lot of highs. So it's starting to get congested in that frequency spectrum range. That's going to be an issue. That's not going to be a fun time.
Because my nan will die, but drum and bass will live forever.
I really like the idea that you have here. You have good elements, nice sounds. We really just need to put these together and kind of work on the sound design as well for this bass. Maybe go a different direction, look at different patches, try different notes. Remember, in your scale, the root note is best, but you can use your third, you can use your fifth in your scale so that you can get really good notes that sound good when designing these basses. I think that's about it. I really like the vocals a lot. It's really holding it down. You got a great foundation here. Just need to add some more energy in the intro. Make sure that we can transition easily to this. This is almost a little bit too long. This may be like twice too long. So maybe test and listen to your whole song over and over so you don't get confused. If you only listen to little sections, you start to get confused and your mind will trick you. So be careful out there. Good job. I love me some drum and bass. I love to hear it. Super by Eek Beats. Next we have Chime. I'm sorry. We have HBB with Chime. Okay. Let me check the chat real quick just to see what you guys are. Skip the Dallin Boom. Eccentric said, okay, cool. Be sure to tune in. Thanks, bro. We got you, dude. We will get it done. You know what it is. DMB time. Let's go. Chime. Run it. Interesting. That was like a frequency bath almost, you know? Lots of melodic content over here. Lots of movement between just wiggly arps and bright vibes. Like I said, video game beach vibes. It's hard to explain how I'm feeling from that, but it feels good. I must say it feels good. And I think from looking at this, what really needs to be worked on is like frequency spectrum, making sure that you don't forget about the lows. You know, your power lows and the sub frequencies are like non-existent. And when you do hear them or feel them, they're almost doing their own rhythmic movement and doing their own thing compared to what they should be in harmony with, which is those chords and these arps. Some sections do get repetitive, like at this point. So let's see, once the melodic starts, you're like 16 bars. After 16 bars, you want to switch it up a little bit. You do switch it up 8 bars after right here. But it stays on this for a while. And during these sections specifically, it's like pretty congested. Lots of frequencies are playing. Sounds like many things are trying to have the spotlight. So you want to start EQing a lot more to choose which sound gets the spotlight, and then you carve out frequencies on all the others so that it feels a lot more natural. In other sections like this, the frequencies start to balance out and it's more natural. But you can hear that subs, the lows, the mid lows. Someone's doing its own thing. It's like causing disruption in the mix. That your lows and your sub and your bass should be following those chords. Each chord has a root note, like the main note. And you want to have the bass, you know, following that note usually, but you can follow any of the notes in the chord progression, or the actual chord, I mean. So if it's a triad, you have 3 different notes. Choose one of those 3 as the bass note during that chord, and you want to make sure you're doing it so that you can achieve harmony. When things are vibrating at the same time on top of each other, that harmony, that's everything, man. That's music. That's life, resonance, vibrations. So keep that in mind. And otherwise, just double check on your theory. It sounds like you may be playing the same progression over and over. So check on your music theory. Make sure that you master just like one scale. Like I did D minor, for example. Learn all the chords, learn all the chord progressions, know how each chord progression moves, know the feelings of them, and then learn how to use your 5th, the note number 5 in your scale, and how to use the 3rd, and picking those priority notes and choosing the other notes. And yeah, just adding new different chord progressions at different times so that we don't hear the same movement in chords throughout the whole piece. We want to take journeys in emotions, and we'll do that with those chords. We tell stories with those chords. We go hard with the stories. Good job, HBB coming in with Chime. Job. Next, we have Stacks with The Construct. Or is it The Construct? You never know till you know it.
This is The Construct.
Now I know it.
Loading program. We can load anything from clothing to equipment, weapons, training simulation.
Good vocal.
Anything we need. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix.
Undead 182, what it do? I see dead moving dinosaur.
Right now, we're inside a computer program.
What's up, Sky? What's up, dog? I love you, dog. You the go, man. I miss your ass, dog.
Your hair has changed. Your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self. computer-generated dreamer, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the construct.
Neil, no one has ever done anything like this.
That's why it's going to work.
No one has ever done anything like this. Good vocal, very nice. I like how you have an idea here. That is one of the most important things here in making this music, is getting like an idea out, a piece of art, a concept, something that's not generic. And this is nice. You know, good idea. The overall execution, though, of the idea needs a lot of work, because remember, we're making dubstep, we're making bass music. We want to make sure we have some energy, we have some movement, dancing. Sound design is very important. And it sounds like a lot of these basses are using really like old school techniques of sound design. The sound design is weaker than it usually is. It really reminds me of like old school sound design vibes, like Resco and like the Whittler, like back before Skrillex. And I mean, that's like good and bad at the same time, because if you want to compete with the music nowadays, you have to start layering a lot more and getting all these unique sounds that people haven't heard before, because we've heard these sounds and these tones for like almost 10, 15 years, for a very long time. So we're used to them. It's not as high energy as it used to be. It's not new and innovative like it used to be. So that's what I suggest, is really try to maximize on sound design and get some new unique tones and sounds so that you can really get people interested. Because if not, we're gonna, you know, hear these sounds, it'll sound like we've heard it before, and that's just gonna be lower energy. We're not gonna be as surprised. Then on top of that, we got to get this louder, bigger, thicker. Right now it's about -9 LUFS for our drop, which is really quiet. We need this to be like -6 LUFS. You can even go to like -4 if you want. But we really need to start layering, adding compression and saturation, and start to fill the frequency spectrum, lows, mids, highs, but then also fill the stereo image, left, right, and middle, mono, so that you can get things big and pumping. Because -9 is quiet, which means it'll be low energy compared to any other song in a similar genre. And then our intro is too quiet too, -17. That's just really quiet. Like a podcast, for example, like probably Joe Rogan's voice is probably around like -15, -12 LUFS. So we need our music to for sure be louder than the people's voices on these podcasts, undoubtedly. But then also, in your songs, you can have certain sections that get super quiet, but then we go back to normal loudness. So keep that in mind. You don't always have to be above that range, but the majority of the time we need to be, so that we can have high energy and the listener doesn't have to turn up their actual device. They just keep everything as is and keep it moving. Okay, now the biggest issue is this sidechain. Bro, like, it's super mega ultra important that you don't cut out the sub bass in the drop. And if you're listening to the song, our sub turns down in volume, a huge dip in volume, and the kick plays, and the kick also doesn't have a lot of lows in it. So it's like there's no bass for a very long time and the sub just randomly comes in. It's very unnatural. We're losing a lot of energy here. We have to make sure this sidechain is perfect. It's like right here. See how the sub like flows back in. Same thing with this kick. It's almost like we sidechain too much here, and then over here the sidechain's not, it's like half on. So just really weird sidechain things going on here. We need to get a duck buddy, a shaper box, something that's completely ducking the volume, going perfect. It needs to be tight. The sidechain should be as long as your kick. If the sidechain is longer than the kick, it'll cause these weird issues and weird silences. So check on that. That's going to be really important. And then lastly, sound design. So like some of these last basses, like this bass here, like that's not really a bass. That sounds like a car horn or something. And it's just very odd. It doesn't sound like a heavy bass. So you want to make sure that you're, first off, doing the right note. Doing sound design with FM synthesis will help you. Making sure that you use a lot of effects like filters, comb filters, all these extra things to make things sound fat, metallic-y, and then use compression to pull up the high frequencies that are turned down, balance out your frequencies, turn down the lows, make it, give it that compressed sound. Different things like that will help get your basses fat, and then of course layering too. Yeah, work on those things. Hit me up if you need help with any of that. I got you. And I do 1v1 lessons too all the time. So I can help you with whatever you need at whatever pace you need. I got you. Overall, good idea. Stacks. Keep it up. Nice vocal choice. The construct. Next, we have Blonde with Falling. Are we falling? Interesting. We'll see. I'm going to check chat. Yes, sir, Stacks, you're welcome, man. Gotcha, dude. Thanks for submitting, my guy. Looks like a full day's work on this project. Sky, you might be the only one that's not a producer in here. You never know, though. Boy. Falling in space now. You got me falling in. I can do this. Yes. Oh, God. Got me feeling like I'm tripping and I'm not even tripping, my dog. Falling in Space. Interesting. Oof, I felt pretty good, man. These wubbies and these different, like, I really felt like I was on like a little different planet, just like doing one of those SpongeBob movements that Squidward does at one time, you know? Feeling it, dude. I'm feeling that. It's really quiet, though. It's too quiet, and the energies will have to turn up a lot on my interface. You know, of the trees, can get away with like -10 left, -9 left. Sound design songs like this, like real wubby psychedelic wub. So I would try to, you know, push to -10, push to -9 around there. You don't gotta get too loud, but right now we're pretty quiet. Let's check this. About -13, -16 sometimes. Yeah, so we need about 4 more lefts in here. Gotta get this a little bit louder. You can see too, like we still have a little bit of dynamic range to work with here, which is good. That's going to add a lot more energy and get us in there. The sub to is like a clean sine wave. You can add harmonics, just a little bit of saturation. You're adding frequencies with saturation. You're adding these extra harmonics that are in harmony with the original frequency. And it's just a very good time. You might want to try that out with your sine wave to make the sub a little bit fatter. And most importantly, have the sub hit on iPhone speakers and MacBook speakers too. You can even add a little bit of noise. Like white noise will make huge differences. You can have white noise moving with the bass or just subtle white noise in the back. Different techniques like that will really be real helpful in these atmospheric vibes. Let me get a charger for my phone real quick. Hold up. It's the cam. Alright. That's good though, man. That felt good. These psychedelic wubs with all the dynamic range is really going to be the future. The future of dubstep, I think, because people are going to start to want every type of dubstep. Chill dubstep, heavy dubstep, wonky, trippy. Luckily, dubstep in-house, we can just build upon these rhythms and grooves so easy and make so much shit, so it's so fun. Good job though, man. That's what I like to hear. Fun times, good flows, good rhythms. That was Blonde. Next we have Vulse with Explode 97 Fin. What a great name. You guys are very artistic with these names. Let's go. lose control. Everybody in the club. Everybody in
Easy.
What a journey indeed. We got multiple speeds up in here, so that's important to take note of. Drum and bass coming in hot at the end, and I was really feeling the end. I think the second drop to me sounded better than the first drop. I really like the intro. The EDM vibes of the intro very good, but the sub is like too loud. It's clipping, it's overpowering your whole mix, and it's not sounding too good. It sounds a little bit distorted. That sub is basically taking up the whole song, right? So any other sound is basically trying to compete with it, and that's hard to do because that 808 is like boom, you know. So you got to turn it down, and then on top of that, you got to EQ8 every single low and low mid frequency out of everything else if you want it to blend with that sub. It gets real muddy on the drop because there's a lot of different fast basses going on with low mids. They're on the sides too. We really want to make sure that if anything's on the side, they're not playing any low frequencies or low mid frequencies. Usually you want those higher frequencies to be playing on the sides, and the lows, like the kick and the sub, are safe for the middle, which is mono. It's a good mixing rule of thumb. And then right now it's just congested. Lots of basses at the same time. The 808 is taking up the whole mix. So it's like a traffic jam going on here. And we need to dial it back, make one of them the star, and make sure that 808 bass is not taking up everything. Too many lows on the side. The subs clipping. Yes, we went over this. And then this is the most mud in the mix. Lots of mud. Remember, when I say mud, I'm talking about frequencies building up from 100 hertz to, you know, around right here, so like 400 hertz. All this is a problem area. The lows, we can only have one thing playing at the same time, and we can barely stack in this range. And then over here in the highs, we can stack and layer a lot more without issues. But mud build up here is what's happening here. Go ahead and check it. So be aware of how loud things are, how much low frequencies are playing. We're pretty loud on the left. -3 is pretty loud for this. Like, it's almost like breakbeaty. You know, it's not like a heavy, loud, tear out dubstep song. So you don't need to be this loud at -3. You can dial it back to like -5 in the drum and bass section. This is good. This is nice. There's not a lot of movement though, so the energy is pretty neutral. You need call and response within your phrases for the first drop and the second drop. Start adding more energy. And God, once these chords come, this is my favorite part of the song. This sounds real good. Very liquidy, very luscious. So that's really good. Nice balance, mix, lots of movement, energy, good vibes from the chords. Lots of boxes checked right there, which is off the chain. So yeah, overall, man, good job with a fin. I like it. Vulse coming in hot. Coming in hot. Espin's up next with Music Make You Lose Control. WIP version 1. We didn't get version 2. We got version 1. Very early idea. Just cooked it last night. He's a chef. I'm trying to use mixing tear out. Oh, I'm used to mixing tear out, so I'm having issues taming my sub for rhythm. Intro is still ass. Okay. Second cat. What day is it? Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Eccentric. You know what it is.
Dropper, do my thing, motherfucker. Everybody here, get it out of control. Out of control. Out of control. Everybody here, get it out of control. Out of control. Out of control. DJ turn it loud.
Nice. That was cool. Music making you lose control. Good flows towards the end. I like the way you're going back and forth with your basses and your tones, and that felt nice. It's sick right here. It feels too wet though. It feels like we're washed out in reverb, and we're like losing our main mono signal, losing a lot of energy in the mono, and it sounds really wet. So make sure you're doing things in parallel, finding a good balance between your wet and your dry signal so that we can have maximum energy, and we want our main sound to be up front in the mix rather than like starting to creep behind the scenes due to the wetness. Man, this was really close to being a nice heavy clean thing, but in the background there's like the bell. It's just too much. It's adding too much congestion. It's hard to focus on the main thing. Plus sometimes it'll play throughout these like silent dynamic shifts. So we're losing the energy of the dynamic shift because of it. It's like all glued together in a straight line, basically, because of it. So you don't need that. If you're going to add anything else in the background, make sure it's in harmony with what's going on. Make sure it's subtle, because there's already a lot going on already. It's very loud, and the frequency spectrum is pretty full already. So adding anything else is going to be, more difficult at this point. But if you're in harmony, doing what the other things are doing, it'll be easier. I think it's like a bell sound. You know what it is. I think that's about it. Otherwise, this is, oh yeah, the Vox in this section. Vocals are really off time right here. You gotta make sure these are on time. Vocals are on time in here. That's good, but right here, definitely need to fix that section. And it just sounds like clipping, subs too loud here. Just make sure you turn down the sub. Remember, our ears perceive frequencies at different amplitudes, at different volume levels, and we always think that the sub is not turned up enough, but it actually is. So keep that in mind. Our ears are going to trick us. And the lows are the most important too, and our ears trick us the most in the lows. So it's so funny. All right, nice. Good job, dude. That's how we get it done. S-Spin, music make you lose control. Up next is Goat Dubs. Actually, it's a blank space, Hamro and Squishy with Pump It Up. Go to Dubs Edit Demo. That's a whole lot of words. Run it. Gotta pump it up. Pump It Up. Go to Dubs Edit Demo. All right, nice. Good track to pick. Lots of energy already. Now, that's cool. But like, we really need to have some type of call and response going on here. So after this, like, you can add a lot of energy, take out, and then boom, dun, dun, dun. We need to, switch up the tone or the rhythm. It goes faster here, but that's not enough for like a call because we're still playing the same thing. It's just like the quarter note bass the whole time. So right away, this bass starts to get repetitive and low energy. If there was call and response, like a call here, your response is the quarter note, and then you have some type of fill, then the quarter note bass would be fresh and new all throughout the song. But it doesn't, and the quarter note bass gets real old pretty quickly, so we got to be careful here. 20 seconds, 3 seconds. So that's just like the same sound the whole time. And remember, the tone isn't changing much. It's like the same frequency, same rhythm for a very long time. So you got to make sure that you focus more on the sound design. Your sound design is fine. Sound design is always good, but we really have to make these into structured compositions that have phrases that are unique and continue to add movement and energy over time. It's real important that when the drop starts, it's like maximum energy, and then we somehow keep the energy progressing from maximum energy. Like, that's fucking insane to say, honestly, just saying it out loud, but that's what EDM does, and that's what the best songs do that we listen to. when I go to Lost Lands and I find all these new artists that are coming up so quickly and able to get to these stages so quickly, it's because they're doing this shit. It's just high energy and it keeps people dancing. And when people are dancing, they are listening. Plus, it has to be clean too. This is a little bit too loud and the frequencies get a little bit too harsh. Just make sure you're like dialing back the loudness just a little bit. And if you are unable to hear exactly what I'm hearing, maybe it's a good time to start investing in a more expensive interface that can actually plug into the wall. You get a lot more power into the interface, which sends a lot more power to your headphones. Get 250 ohm headphones and you have enough dynamic range and you can hear all these little tiny differences that I'm able to hear in the loudness and the stereo image and things like that. Oh yeah, and then on the hardstyle, it felt very random transitioning into this. So make sure there's like a pre-drop, call and response, some type of transition elements needs to happen here because we abruptly get hit with this hardstyle drop. And because of that, the energy is not as high as it could be either, which is a shame because hardstyle drops are always a fun time. Always a fun time. So yeah, call and response, make sure you're really focusing on flow, movement between basses. The quarter note is going to be our main rhythm and flow most of the time, but if it plays for too long, it gets repetitive and it's old after a while. We want to make sure we keep those listeners engaged, surprised, and doing that bass face constantly. You know what it is. But good job, Coach Dubs. You're always coming in with a high quality. I like to hear it. Next is Illusions. Well, shit. Oh, let's put them up here. Put them up. Now we got shit up next. I'm actually going to use the restroom quick. I'll be right back. Give me one break. Here's some intro music for your troubles. We're now on to the next song called Shit. Naturally and Casually. This is by Illusions. Let's get it done.
This is the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. Citizens are advised to take the following steps. Stay alert to news media events or local emergency alerts.
Test. This ain't no truth. Shit. Bye. Illusions. You know what it is and what it ain't. All right, cool. So overall, I mean, we got a lot going on here. The intros are really nice, man. And the buildup was nice. Like, that's pretty difficult to do. And I'm really happy that you went the extra steps and did these really unique phrases. Like that stuff, taking it to the extra level, doing that's really good. It sounded really high quality, honestly, for a while. When we got to the drop, things started to go astray. You know, the basses, main basses sound weak, very low energy over here. We need more layers going on. We're also missing like the mono signal for our main basses. If you listen to the main basses, they're all like prominently and dominantly on the side. But the sub is in the middle by itself and the basses are all spread out. So we have a lot more to fill in the stereo image, and we need that main bass to just be, you know, the star of the show with the sub layered well so that it's lows, mids, and highs. Right now it just sounds like highs. We're missing like some low grungy mids in there. The sussy is also too quiet in some sections like this. Sounds good in others. And then towards the end, you can really start to see that we're lacking from, well, the energy is going down because there's a lack of call and response. So check this. The bass is just doing quarter note the whole time. Rah, 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 no break. Because there's no break, it's like the bass just keeps going. We need there to be some type of stop, pause, silence from that so we can move back and forth between that bass. Call and response will help a lot with this. Call response fill within 4-bar phrases that will keep enough moving and keep things interesting so that this bass doesn't sound like it just keeps going on forever with no end in sight. There should be some type of structure there with the bass. These trap vibes though, I like, man, all the cool little sound effects that you do. It's really cool. And yeah, same thing with the second, you know, just the bass is super stereo, not enough mono. You got some flow in here. You know, the flow is good. We just got to make sure the sound design is thicker and that we're focusing more on, you know, movement and flow within the drop. Call and response will help so that we can just boom, 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 move throughout. This is kind of like a call. Got this feel. So this is all good. You're doing call and response here, but like we stopped doing it towards here. It's happening. It's just like the bass is going quarter note, so it's gluing the phrases together, which is, you know, it happens often. It's a common issue. That common issue. Good job, man. That's shit by Illusions. Done deal. Up next, we got Opetic with Somehow You Got Me, WIP. Let's go. All right, cool. That is Opedic with Somehow You Got Me. Yeah, Somehow You Got Me. All right, so the intro, it kind of sounds like this is out of key. Like, there's a main lead here. So her vocals are going to be perfect with that thing. But they sound like off key. So you need to double check, see that vocal, make sure it's perfectly in key. Don't trust any website. Like, remember, never like Google, like Riding Dirty Chameleonaire key, Riding Dirty Chameleon. Because these websites are going to give you the wrong info like 90% of the time. So use your key finder on the Mac App Store, or use Mixing Key or Recordbox. Do something that analyzes the key a lot better. Even these three things are not 100% perfect. So you can also tune the sub that's in the song to see what root note it is and do tricks like that. But you want to make sure things are perfectly in key, get that vocal to be in harmony with what's playing around it. And then the vibe of that vocal is like all melodic and bright. And then we go into like darkness pretty abruptly. So the transition between like the harmonic and melodic vibes into the more dark, dissonant rhythm vibes is abrupt, and it doesn't feel too smooth. So we really should smooth that out. Yeah, it's almost like two different songs, just one song played and then another song just started. You never really want that. We want cohesion. These things need to glue together. Listening to the full piece. There's also a lot of movement going on as well. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Poetic. Thank you, man. So, okay. The bass in general is like higher pitch. Like, so if that's really high, we need our sub to be doing a lot of work too. But it sounds like the sub is like almost weak and playing a very high note. So you may be working in a key or a scale like A minor, G minor, for example, where you have to choose these really high notes for your sub bass. That's not a good time. Usually in dubstep, we're choosing D minor or F minor, for example, specifically because the sub bass sounds so good at those lower levels. We're playing the root note and the fifth a lot, so we've got to make sure those notes are perfect with the sub. That may be happening. You might be on too high of a key. Like if you're just using the original key, like, I don't know if that's like Ariana Grande, whoever's singing, they're going to be singing high. They're not going to be making music in dubstep range. So we usually have to transpose these things down to get to the range where the sub sounds nice and fat and big. The sub doesn't sound real big. It sounds very wonky and just not enough energy. Wonky is good, but we have to have structured wonk. You know what I'm saying? You got to structure that wonk. Right now, the wonk is going all over the place. Pitch is moving quickly and often. So we never really have a time to settle on one pitch and movement before it veers off to something different. And sometimes it feels a little bit random. So structure here will add more energy and create more movement. Right now the pitch is just going all over the place. So that's good. Sometimes, right, with balance, you got to sprinkle in how much we're moving the pitch up and down. Got to find that balance, man. Like I see, you got a nice idea here. You want to keep building upon it. We'll work on getting these things done. It's going to help you a lot. Cool. Hit me up if you need help with anything. I got you. You know what it is. Next, we got Lil Wayne, Rich as Fuck. Lazy Flip. Run it.
5-0, but I swear with these drip shots, I'll shoot it out with 5-0. Pockets getting too fat, no weight watch, no lipo. Money talks, bullshit walks on a motherfucking tightrope. And I make that pussy tap out, I knock that pussy out cold. Nigga, you can beat the crap out, but that's just how the dice roll. These hoes want that rose pipe, so I give all these hoes pipe. She get on that dick and stay on all night like porch lights. Let's do it, but talking, we out here, we ballin', and I'm spraying at these rusty niggas like WD-40. We fucked up, we clucked up, no ifs, ands, or fucks. Bitch niggas go behind your back like nunchucks, and that's fucked up. But my hoes down, my cups up, my niggas down for whatever. These bitches think they too fly. Well, tell them all I fuck that funk Tunchi, young Tunchi, or a truck feet, what Tunchi. She blowing kisses at me with her pussy lips, smooches, and that's 2 chains. Look at you, now look at us. All my niggas look rich as
Okay, cool. There doesn't sound like there's sub in here. I'm just like mids.
my niggas look rich as
Yeah, so these are clipping, and there's not really any sub. So it's like really harsh. Well, not harsh, but loud mids that are just causing like distortion. There should be some type of cleanliness here. These are just getting way too loud, way too big. And there's no sub, so it feels very empty. We're missing a lot of the frequency spectrum. There's almost nothing playing here. And then also, when we're using songs for flips, when you pitch it down, it's not usually going to sound good because, I mean, the original song was pitched perfectly to Lil Wayne's voice. Lil Wayne sang on that beat perfectly. The producer made it. So if we just start pitching down the whole track, usually it doesn't sound good. And it's up to us to make sure that we find an area that does sound good and try to make it work with the original key or scale that we're writing in. Right now, it's just like the original song playing. You didn't really do anything to it, and it's just pitched down. So remember, we've heard this original song, and if you change the original song, it's not going to sound as good. So you play the original song for a very long time, or it's not sounding good, and it's just, you got to be careful here. You know, you got to make sure that you just use the original song, first off, and if you need to, like, fix copyright issues, you can make long intros, you can, you know, speed it up, change the BPM, do all kinds of different tricks. But you have to make sure that it sounds good if you pitch it down, because right now it doesn't even sound like Wayne anymore.
right next to that Bible, but I swear with these
Lil Wayne is Lil Wayne because of his voice. His voice is very high pitched, and he doesn't have a deep voice. He's not like Young Dolph, you know. So these things have to be taken into consideration before we pitch down one of the greatest rappers of all time. If we pitch his voice down, it's going to dramatically change his voice more than it would, you know, some other people's voices. Just keep those things in mind before you get all crazy. Flips are difficult, that's for sure. Hit me up if you need help with any of that. You know I got you. You know what it is and what it ain't. Good idea though, man. The ideas I like to see. I love the Little Wayne. Next we have Merlin with Haise Sasaki. Oh, okay. I think I said that right. Who knows? Okay. We got a nice vocal at the beginning. That's creative. That's nice. We go straight into the wonks, straight into the rhythm webs. Unfortunately, though, we don't have any type of call and response here. So it kind of just sounds like we're repeating this bass note over and over again, and there's not really any structure. It's very hard to dance to something like this because the main sound starts to get old and repetitive after time progresses. If you grab 4-bar section and make a call response fill within the 4 bars, everything will start moving from one to another, and then you'll have some structure. Then you'll be able to keep moving throughout the phrases and keep the energy high. Right now, the energy starts to decrease over time, unfortunately, and it sounds pretty random the way that the basses are moving. They're just moving all kinds of ways in different directions at random times, and it needs structure. It really does. Composition and song arrangement is really important. Like I mentioned, I do lessons all the time, so if you need help with that, hit me up and I can help you with composing, doing these 4-bar phrases. I'll make a video on call and response. I'll just make like 10 videos on call and response in the next couple months because I think it's one of the most important things, and I'll try to teach it in every shape, way possible. We need flow and energy, so I think that'll be important. A good idea though. I like the anime vocals. Maybe try a little build up, get a little bit louder though in the intro, and structure, do less randomized movements with that bass for sure. All right, very nice. Good job, Merlin. Next we have Jayo Hicks, or Jayo HX. Tear out 007. Let's go. Bro, what the fuck? Hold up.
Drop a killer down. Don't give no fuck. And you down. Don't care about no clout shit. Don't give no.
Okay. Yo, it's honestly, it's hard to tell if this is even your song or not. It sounds really like Murata, like very like Murata. It almost sounds like you like remade a Murata song, honestly. This is good, man. The sound design is awesome. There's a lot of flow and movement in here. If this is you making this, then you're doing good. But at the same time, you're getting really close to Murata's sound, and like only he can be successful with that sound, right? If anyone else tries to do it, there's no way you can be as successful. I don't even think you could be half successful, because this whole music shit is about being fresh and new and innovative. In 2018, when we heard this shit, right, 6 years ago, it was so fucking brand new and so crazy and like, what the fuck? It blew everyone's minds, and then he went straight directly to just touring huge festivals because the music talks, right? But at this point, 6 years later, hearing something that sounds very similar to him is impressive, right? For a remake or something. But if you're trying to do your own brand and go on your own sound, you have to use these techniques in new creative ways. You can't sound like him, even though what he's done is successful. We have to make new blueprints and new roadmaps. And you'll see other people will start to follow you and copy you. And that's the whole goal, is to keep creating new things, because music dies quickly. Frequencies get old quickly. Our like consciousness and vibes are always updating. And honestly, music is going to continue to evolve into new things that we cannot even think of or imagine right now. So be part of that. Be part of the evolution and start pushing the sound, because you obviously have the tools available. You got the skills. That shit was hard. That shit was heavy. Very impressive. Killing the game. Good job, dude. That's Jayo Hicks coming in with Tear Out 007. And lastly, we have Earth Walker with Security 142 BPM. D-Shop Minor. Let's get it. That's my favorite meme.
I've never been on one.
Okay, good job. Earth Walker coming in with Security at 142 beats per minute at D-Shop Minor. Okay, so I like the funk. I like the sub. Honestly, these frequencies are competing here. There's a lot of lows, low mids in here that compete with the subs, low mids. So it's muddy when this is playing, and this is happening in the intro too. It's not a good time. We need to clear open some space. Got to make sure that that sub is not clashing with that funk cowbell. That is a continued theme throughout the mix. Is a lot of mud. It's very hard to listen to things because it sounds congested and traffic jammed, and there's not enough space for things. So let's listen here. Got some mud right here. And here too. Also the clap. There's like a kick on the clap. And there's a whole big silent dip going on here. So the sidechain feels too big. Feels very unnatural. It's like going almost silent, and you can tell. On the sidechain, you shouldn't really be able to tell when it goes silent. You know, it happens so fast in time. But check your sidechain length. Make sure it's as long as your kick. It should not be longer than the kick. Check out the resonators. The vocoder resonators cause a lot of low mids. So just make sure with the EQ, you want to be not cutting at 100, but cutting at 175. Getting a nice, real healthy cut here to cut these mids on most things. And only one instrument should be covering this section. And then only one instrument should be covering 100 hertz and below, which is your sub. You're really carving out frequencies because you have a lot going on. Big traffic jams happening. Second drop is really cool too, but it's also sounding pretty congested. Oh shit, my bad, the EQ8 still. I love that. Boom, boom, boom. That's cool. Great ideas, nice flow. Artistic. It's too loud though, man. It's like -3 lufs. This isn't a tear out gun song, so there's no reason why it should be this loud. It gets too loud, too congested. We got to really dial it back, preserve dynamics, make sure that things aren't competing in the frequency spectrum. Use that EQ8 like your sword until death. Otherwise, like I said, artistic, creative, that's what we want. Fix that clap kick. That thing is probably the most important thing. And I think that's about it, boy. Yeah, that's about it. Good job, Earthwalker. Thank you everyone for submitting. I appreciate all you guys. You guys are the bomb shiz diggity. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, I do 1v1 lessons all the time, so just hit me up. Ask questions on Instagram or Discord. I got you at any time. And have a great day. Keep producing, keep evolving, and stay fresh, my dogs. Peace out. Later.